Chicken nuggets are coming.
Yeah, man. Sweet and sour sauce.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It is now 7 o'clock. I would like to call this meeting or hearing to order at this time. We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Face the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I want to point out the fire exits are the door to my left and the door that we all came in. That's got the exit sign next to the opening. If we need to use those, please do it in an orderly fashion. And I would like to request a roll call, please.
Member Spencer.
Here.
Member Yarborough.
Here.
Member Overholt.
Here.
Acting Chairman Sprata.
Present. If I could also request the reading of the legal notice, please.
Please take notice that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Depew will hold a public hearing on September 28th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the municipal building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application of David Sylvia for the property located at 70 Harvard Avenue of Chapter 260, Subset 260, 14B1H, to allow him to construct a driveway within the required setback of 3 feet to any interior, rear, or exterior property line, requesting 2 feet of relief from the 3 feet setback. A pre-board meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room of the municipal building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, and any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Okay, I would like to call Mr. David Sylvia to the podium, please. Please introduce yourself and your address.
Hi, David Sylvia, 70 Harvard Avenue, looking for 2-foot relief from the required 3-foot setback for the driveway form.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Anybody on the board? I have a question too. What do you intend to do in the wintertime with snow?
What I intend to do, the reason I want to have the setback is to have a wider driveway to park 2 cars in there during the months of November to April to put the cars in the driveway.
But what would,
Oh, you mean as far as clearing it? I'll clear
Yeah.
it myself. I plan on snow blowing it.
to your front lawn?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, there's plenty of space to do that.
And you will remain 1 foot from the property line?
Absolutely.
Okay. I see that it's all dug up already and
It was
new
dug up
sidewalk
because there was
included?
confusion on who was getting the permits, and when the company came in to get the permit, I have the receipt from it, is when they found out about the ordinance for the 3-foot relief rather than the 1-foot relief, which they assumed it to be. That's why it was dug up originally before having
Okay.
a permit.
All right.
So we ceased everything until we had the hearing.
Does any other board member have questions? Any questions from the audience or from code?
No, he answered his snow question. It's good for me.
Legal is not here tonight. Any public comments or questions? None? All right, I gotta read the criteria as soon as I get myself organized. Okay. Criteria is, number 1, provide evidence to demonstrate that under the current application zoning regulations, the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return from the property in question. And you're,
No.
no?
You're on use.
Yeah.
Am I in the wrong page?
Yep. There you are.
Story of my life. I'm a
Just
page
there.
ahead of myself. Sorry. All right, we'll go over this again. Maybe this time I'll get it right. Will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties be created by granting an area variance? You put no, and I have to agree with that as you explained what you'll do in the wintertime. Number 2, can the benefits sought by you, the applicant, be achieved by some other method other than an area variance? You put no, and I agree with that. Is the requested area variance substantial? You put no, but I feel the code calls for a 3 foot. You're asking for 2
For
feet.
more than half, yes.
I would call that substantial.
Okay.
That's more than half. All right, question 4. Will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? You put no, and I would have to go along with that. I agree with you. Let me see, is number 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the discussion of the Zoning Board of Appeals, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the requested area variance? You put no, I have to agree with that. And number 6, what is the minimum area variance deemed necessary and adequate? Requesting a 2 foot relief from the property line instead of beginning 3 feet from the property line. Requesting to put 1 foot from the property line. As we discussed that, that's what you want to do. I agree with you. All right. Yes, board members, anybody like to make a motion to approve or deny the variance as submitted by?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the variance.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you. We need a roll call vote on that, please.
Member Spencer,
Yes.
Member Overholt,
Yes.
Member Yarborough,
Yes.
and Acting Chairman Sprata.
Yes.
4 yes, variance granted.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.
Yep.
Take care.
Okay, next on the agenda, which one should I do first? 91?
I'll read the legal.
Okay,
Alright.
read the legal. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Please take notice that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Depew will hold a public hearing on September 28th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the municipal building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application of Alyssa Williams for the property located at 97 Terrell Street of Chapter 260, subset 260, 14B1H, to be allowed to construct a concrete driveway 5 foot past the allowed 5 foot projection in front of the principal dwelling. A pre-board meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room of the municipal building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, and any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Is the owner here tonight? If you could come up to the podium, please. State your name, address, and why you're here for the record.
My name is Alyssa Williams, 97 Terrell Street, and I'm here to request a 5 foot extra past the front of my house, so 10 feet total. instead of the 5 foot that's allowed.
Okay. Any questions? Do I have any questions? How long have you lived at that address?
2 months?
2 months? And, okay, does any board members have any questions for the petitioner?
I do have a question. How wide is your existing concrete driveway back to your garage? How wide is it?
I'm honestly not sure. It didn't change. It's the same width that it was before,
10 foot?
probably. I don't know the width, honestly.
And what's the
It's
reason?
about 10 feet,
About 10
roughly.
foot? Okay.
A little under 10 feet wide.
So what's the reason that you need wider in the front to go past what's required?
Just to be able to have multiple cars in the driveway and not have to, it was a single car driveway, so,
Right.
and it goes along the side of the house.
Well, it looks like it's about, 60 feet long. Probably fit 4 vehicles in that driveway.
Yeah, but then to get in and out, and you have multiple cars, and you have to move, to prevent having to move multiple cars.
Right, just a question. How many cars do you have?
I personally only have one, but my family's over a lot, and I have my nieces that are over.
Just for visitors and...
Any other questions from board members? How about code enforcement? Have any questions?
No, I mean, you can have the same issue with snow removal, but it looks like you have enough room in your front lawn and in your back if you needed to put it there. You have a way to push the snow that far, or do you snow blow? What do you got?
Yeah, I have a snow blower.
Don't have any questions.
No further questions?
Well, I do have another question. I went by there today, it's already done. How do you get,
I didn't realize that that wasn't allowed prior to doing it until it was tore out.
okay, but it was tore out and it wasn't poured yet, correct?
No, it was set to be poured 2 days later.
But it wasn't.
No.
So you knew about, they had to have a variance
Yeah, so
prior to
we-
pouring the concrete.
We went and got the variance, well, we went and did the
Applied for
paper, the paperwork the next day.
Okay, but then you poured it anyways without having it. Okay.
No other questions? Okay, I would like to read the criteria.
Public comment?
Oh, public comment. Any public comment on what the proposed variance? No other public comment? Okay. And I have to read the criteria. Let me see if I can get the page right this time. I think this is it. That's it. Okay, here's the reading of the criteria. There are 6 questions here. I'll begin with number 1. Will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties be created by granting the area variance? You put no. I guess I'd have to agree with that. Number 2, can the benefits sought by you, the applicant, be achieved by some other method other than an area variance? You put no. I guess I would have to agree with that also. Is the requested area variance substantial? You put no, and I would say it was substantial. It's like the 2 adjoining properties are almost one complete mass of concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So I would consider that substantial.
Okay.
So I'll change your no to a yes. Will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact the physical or environmental condition in a neighborhood or district? You put no, and I would have to agree with that to an extent. It just is, to me, seems out of place in the neighborhood to have that much concrete. Is the alleged difficulty self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the Zoning Board of Appeals, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the requested area variance? You put yes, and it is self-created, because it's your doing. Number 6, what is the minimum area variance deemed necessary and adequate? And you put 5 feet past the allowed 5-foot projection in front of the principal dwelling. It seems like a lot to me, since you only have one vehicle. But you, I guess I'll have to go along with your answer. So, after that, would any board member like to make a motion to approve or deny the variance as submitted by the person here? Looking for a request or a denial. Any further comment from code?
When you do the curb cut to widen the apron of the driveway, is it gonna go the entire length of the new 10 feet or are you just keeping where
No,
the
the-
single driveway
The
was?
curb did not get cut.
Okay. Well, I saw that you had applied for one, so I wasn't sure what your plan was gonna be
Oh,
for
no,
that.
we did not.
Okay.
Okay, a second request for either to accept or deny the request.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I went out there today and looked at this. You did cut the curb. It's already cut. You can see it's cut down to the street level in front of your new concrete.
That's where it was.
This part here that was existing, that cut there? You know, I hate to do this. I would make a motion that we deny this
Okay, motion,
variance.
motion to deny the request and seconded by Jan. Now, if we could have a roll call vote.
Member Spencer.
Yes for denial.
Member Overholt.
Yes for denial.
Member Yarborough.
Yes for denial.
And Acting Chairman Sprata.
I would have to vote yes.
4 yes, variance denied.
So, ma'am, real quick. So your contractor will be required to come back. You can keep up to 5 foot in front of your principal dwelling, but the extra 5 feet would have to be removed and put back to grass. Okay? All right, thank you. Okay. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. Sure.
Are you ready for the legal?
Okay, the next item on the agenda is for Mr. Vincent Sperdandio at 91 Terrell Street. If you could come to the
gotta read the
podium.
legal.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
Getting
okay.
ahead of myself.
Please take notice that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Depew will hold a public hearing on September 28th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the municipal building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application of Vincent Sperandito for the property located at 91 Terrell Street of Chapter 260, subset 260, 14B1H, to be allowed to construct a concrete driveway 3 foot past the allowed 5 foot projection in front of the principal dwelling and 3 foot to the property line. A pre-board meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room of the municipal building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, and any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Okay, now I would like to call the petitioner to the podium, please. Sorry about that little glitch. State your name and address and why you are here for,
Vincent Sperandeo, 91 Terrell Street, Depew, New York, 14043. And I'm here to ask permission to put a little walkway next to my driveway, because I have 4 cars, and I just want to make it a little wider, so when we get out, we're not stepping and chewing up the grass with the wheels, and it's all muddy and everything.
okay.
So it's not really the driveway, it's just a little walkway next to the driveway for me.
Are there any questions from the board? I have a couple myself, but I'll ask the board first.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was also out there today. Looks like this has already been done,
Yeah.
completed.
So, as far as I go, is I kind of just piggybacked off of her concrete order,
Okay.
just so I didn't have to pay crazy money for stuff I wasn't using. And, I mean, to kind of be honest with you, I didn't think it was an issue with me because I wasn't doing a driveway and I wasn't cutting the curb. And I kind of just figured just fill it in, and this way it's kind of not a safety hazard having a hole, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why it was filled in. And I kind of colored it and stamped it so it looked separately from other than a driveway. Kind of split the 2 properties up. You know what I mean? Just to kind of try to make it look like it's still 2 separate driveways.
So you're asking for a variance to go right to the property line and not have the 3 foot on the left-hand side of your driveway also, correct?
Yeah, but the existing driveway, there wasn't 3 feet to begin with, so I don't know how what happened with there, so,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I didn't do anything with the driveway itself. The driveway itself has been there. I just added the little stamped walkway next to it, just so, like I said, when I got 4 cars, me, my girl, and 2 kids, and we're driving on the grass in the winter, it's all chewed up and rutted, muddy. So that's more like a walkway where at least we can step out onto that. And
This picture here, how wide is that walkway?
I think that's like 2 feet.
2 feet?
Yeah.
So you're already within the 3 feet before we started here.
That was existing though.
The,
The
not the
original
pattern
driveway-
stamp, but the.
No, the stamp, the existing was already
Right.
1 foot
Yeah.
into the,
Right.
which had nothing to do with him. It was originally done that way. It was approved when
Right.
the property was built.
First bill, yeah.
I have a couple questions. You have a garage?
I do.
How big is the garage for 1 car or 2, or?
So the garage, I don't even know if you would consider it a 1-car garage because you can't fit a car in there.
Why is that?
Because when you walk in the garage, it kind of goes up on a hill and then levels off. So you can't fit a car in there. We tried, believe me.
And you've got 4 vehicles at
Yeah, me, her, and the 2 kids. And like I said, when we park, you know, we got our tires in the grass, it gets all rutted, you know, muddy, tracking mud everywhere. So that's why I just put the stamped walkways, so at least when we step out, we can step out and not and tearing the grass up, and then I gotta fix the grass every summer.
Okay. Any other questions from code? Or
No, it's
legals
pretty
not
cut
here?
and dry on this one.
Okay. Any public comments or questions? There are none. I'll read the criteria for the variance with the petitioner's answer. Our 6 questions. Will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby property be created by granting the area variance? You put no. I don't know if that's really a correct answer. I would say it's a yes and no.
So, yeah, here's why I said yes. Because now, instead of being rutted up, muddy grass with divots in it, at least now looks nice because it's colored and stamped, and it looks different. So that's why I put yes.
You put no.
Oh, I put no. So, yeah, that's what I mean. So that's why I figured it would look better than rutted up, muddy grass. Is where my thinking was.
Okay, I guess I would have to agree with how you explained it. Number 2, can the benefits sought by you, the applicant, be achieved by some other method other than an area variance? You put no.
Yes.
And that's, I think you just explained the
Yeah.
reasoning there. I have to agree with that. Is the request area variance substantial? You put yes.
Yes, thinking that that's what I needed, that little bit of space to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish.
Okay, so
Unless I misunderstood the question, but,
you widen both sides of the driveway then?
yeah, because we got 4 cars.
But he allowed this variance.
And
Well,
both sides are walkways stamped and colored,
Yeah.
so it looks like a border.
Well, the question is the requested area variance substantial? You put yes, and I'd have to agree with that. Number 4, will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact the physical or environmental conditions in a neighborhood or district? You put no. Well, the physical conditions are changed because there's a lot more concrete in the front part of your property. So it's I don't know if it's an environmental condition, but it is a physical condition. So I would have to say yes on one and no on the other, meaning physical or environmental. No on environmental, yes on physical. Okay, number 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created? Which consideration shall be relevant to the discussion of the Zoning Board of Appeals, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the requested area variance? You put no. Well, I would have to disagree with that. It is self-created because you're widening the driveway on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll change your no to a
Yes,
yes.
yes.
And number 6, what is the minimum area variance deemed necessary and adequate? You put 3 feet to the property line and 3 feet past the 5-foot allowable projection in front of the principal dwelling. Is that necessary and adequate? Is that a yes or a no? You just put an explanation here.
So I didn't have 5 feet to go, so I didn't really understand that. Didn't really understand what they were asking there.
Just a number from code on what
So.
the number he's
altogether,
asking for.
It's two separate answers, because
Yeah.
it falls under the same requirement. They're asking 3 foot to the property line, and they're asking for 3 foot past the required 5 foot in front of the house. The 5 foot he was allowed to put in, no matter what, that's without question. He's going an additional 3 foot with a sidewalk, basically on both sides of the driveway. So he's asking for 3 foot in both directions.
That's
Does that
a-
explain it better to you? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just a point of order, we're not changing any of your answers. Your answers are what was
What you
given.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
whether
I'm just
the board
putting
agrees
it
with it or not.
Yeah.
And it is, just so you guys are aware, it is less than 3 feet on each side. So I try to keep it as minimum as I could.
And he is right about that to an extent. So the existing driveway was already 1 foot over the required, but again, that was approved when the property was built.
Yeah, and code.
Or changed at some point, but obviously by the age of the concrete, it's been there substantially a
Been
long
there,
time.
yeah, and code
So he's
changed.
really only asking for 2 feet on one side
Yeah.
and 3 foot on the other.
Okay.
So that, you're right, I apologize. That's
No,
the
no
way I should
worries.
have
I just
explained it.
want to make sure that I'm answering properly, you know?
So for the record, it's 2 foot on one side, 3 foot on the other.
2 foot to the property line, 3 foot to the, in front of the principal dwelling.
Okay. A code and legal, code have any other questions?
No.
No. Any public comments? No? Or questions? Would any board member like to make a motion to approve or deny the variance as submitted?
I have a question prior to that.
Go ahead.
Who did the work?
I did it and then worked with her brother and his friends.
So you did the pattern stamp stuff?
Yeah, well, I didn't do the stamp part, but, you know, we did some demo work, dug it out. I removed some posts that I had there, mailbox, basketball hoop. And then they came in and,
The reason I ask, because you
did
got a
the thing.
certificate of attestation for an exemption.
yeah, yeah, they said I had to get one of those because I was doing it with,
Okay,
you know, me and friends.
all right.
Okay, I'm still looking for a motion to approve or deny the variance request. Anybody like to make that motion? No one wants to make a motion either way, for or against.
Well, I have another question. So obviously you knew that when she was contacted by code that you had to have a variance prior to the concrete being poured and stamped. You still went ahead with it without having the,
Yeah, and like I said, I went ahead with it because
well, it was,
it was it was a lot that was dug out, and it was kind of a safety hazard in my eyes. You know what I mean? I figured as long as we got the paperwork in, you know, and nobody got hurt, we were ahead of the game, as far as I thought, you know. And then whatever happens here, obviously happens, but at least it was safe, and I didn't have to worry about that because they only do these meetings once a month. You know what I mean?
right?
So it would have been dug out for a long time.
Would anybody want to put forth a motion, either way, for or against? If nobody else does, I guess I'm going to have to make a motion myself and look for its second.
I don't know.
I don't know if I can, though. I don't
Yeah,
think
you
I can.
can't as the chairman.
Well, if I may, in this case, he has 4 cars and he has a relatively short and small driveway. Alright. He's pushed it up as far as he can, as far as the lawful portion of the driveway is. He did make it look separate in this case by making it stamped so designated more as a walkway than a parking area. So how do you fit 4 cars in a small area?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that helps. Unfortunately, you can't help the size of the, the footprint of the property in this
Yeah.
particular case.
I'll make a motion that we approve the variance. He did make a improvement rather than driving in a muddy yard and stuff. But it is still my opinion that things should be done with the proper permits and variances in place prior to the actual
Placement of the car.
placement of concrete, so.
I'll second the motion.
Jan, second.
All right.
Okay, if we could have a roll call vote?
Member Spencer,
Yes.
Member Overholt,
Yes.
Member Yarborough,
Yes.
Acting Chairman Sprata.
Yes.
4 yes, variance approved.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're all good. Thank you.
I just need a motion to close the hearing.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to close this hearing at,
Well, somebody asked for,
somebody asked, yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Would
sorry.
somebody like to make a motion to close the hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Jan, second.
I'll second it.
Eric,
I'll third it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Time is 7:37,
7:39, that clock's a little slow.
7:39.
Give me one,
Man, Paul.
give me 1 second, guys.